So David McDonald with the Pitt Sports Entertainment. I'm sitting down with Chad Nicefield of the band Wilson. Chad, buddy,
David.
Good to see you. Rocking a very, homey flannel and beanie look.
Yeah, I got this casual. Is it Friday? Casual Friday?
It's like Wednesday. Yeah.
Casual.
It's
Wednesday.
Hump Day.
It's Hump Day. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Hump Day in Wilson's world.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's actually sunny out, despite this indoor layout. It's actually a nice sunny day in Detroit.
It's crazy how awesomely fast snow melts when you put a few degrees above freezing on there. It's awesome.
Just really lifts the mood.
It really puts the mood in.
I was sad I did not see a single girl in a bikini all day.
Me too, actually. Sometimes I just peer in those windows out there in the parking lot and see if I can catch any Pontiac squagglins running through the crack-infested streets of Pontiac in their bikinis in negative degrees weather.
We will get to your dirty stories soon enough, my friend, soon enough. Just a few weeks ago, you did the 2014 Shiprocked cruise.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you guys?
So there's the top 3 things that have ever happened in my life. Or number 1, it sounds kind of morbid, but it changed my life. I got into a car accident when I was 15 years old. All this crazy shit happened to me. I got lost my life. I was in the hospital for three months while they fixed me, put me back together. It's not a great thing that happened, but it changed my perspective of what I was doing currently in my life. I wanted to play sports or whatever it was, and then I decided I was into music after that, and I pretty much dedicated all of my life to that, to music after that car accident. And then the second best thing that's ever happened to me was Shiprocked, and then followed closely behind the third best thing that has ever happened to me, and that was the first time that I saw my own semen shoot out of the tip of my penis. I don't know if you can remember that as a young man.
Do you have the date?
I don't know. I don't have the date down. But I do remember just my mind being fucking blown when that happened. I was like, what is that? And then, that's a pretty monumental thing for a young boy to go through. So if you sandwich Shiprocked 2014 in between losing my life and coming for the first time, that gives you a pretty good idea of how awesome it was.
So explain it to me. Explain literally life and death, and in between there's Shiprocked.
Yes. I guess that's what literally.
Yeah. What was it like for you guys to do something that's cool?
It was awesome, man. It was mind-blowing. The whole experience was the event was put together so smoothly. We had no idea what we were going through, and obviously we were like the runs of the litter with all these other huge bands like Five Finger Death Punch and Papa Roach and Candlebox and In This Moment, and all these bands have experienced these sorts of things probably times 10 in and out again in their career or whatever, but we hadn't. So we were totally shell-shocked when we got there, whoa, this is a huge cruise, and how are we going to get our equipment on there? But from the moment that we arrived to the port to the moment we exited the ship, it was the most incredible, smooth sailing, awesome experience ever. It's weird, looking out in the audience and seeing all those bands that I aforementioned, watching your band play, and then coming up to you, Head from Korn came up to me and he was like, hey man, can I talk to you for a second? After our set the next day, he was like, man, that was fucking awesome. It blew my mind last night. And I was like, oh, dude, thanks. Kevin from Candlebox, all these people that you would normally probably not have the experience, the joy of playing your music in front of in general, were forced essentially to watch you play, and then became fans of your band. I'm watching Papa Roach play. He's got a t-shirt on, and Candlebox dude's got her t-shirt on. All these bands are Seven Dust dudes got their t-shirts on, and I'm like, this is crazy to me, So the whole experience was, like I said, on a fan-band interaction standpoint, pristine, and then on top of it, as a dude who's just a fan of music in general and playing music, it was mind-blowingly awesome. I ate lunch with Jim Brewer, because he was on the ship, and that's who you were sitting next to when you were eating lunch, You just don't even think that would ever happen to you in your life, It's crazy. I suggest anybody ever to go on a cruise ship because it's debaucherous and awesome to begin with, and then you add those different levels of excitement like live music, and there's not another experience like it in the world.
Excellent. Speaking of debaucherous and crazy and fun, you've been touring for the last year on the strength of your album, Full Blast Fuckery.
Yeah.
So I have to finally say those words.
Yeah.
Yeah, really happy about that. This album has gotten actually a whole lot of positive feedback behind it. And what was it like to finally get this first real album behind Wilson?
It was a long time. That album actually took us like almost a year of recording because we didn't really know what we were gonna do. To start with it, we were just gonna be it was gonna be like a 5-6 song EP. And we put out some songs that we were just kind of like on the on the echelon of like, is it what we're gonna do? You know, push some around some people, just to put some music out there. Those 3 songs ended up being a part of the record, but when we were recording it here with the idea of it just being an EP, we ended up getting an email from Steve Evans out in Los Angeles, who like found the music and turned into a huge fan and asked us to come out and record with him, and we decided to take it and make it a full length and finish the recording process out there with him. So the energy that it's really, like you said, there's been some positive feedback, and we were just like some shitty Detroit dudes who were trying to make a rock and roll record and have some fun with it, and to see it kind of to take its own life unbeknownst to what you were trying to initially start out to do is pretty fucking wild, man. It's cool. It's cool.
So on the album, there are names such as one of my favorites, Viking Pussies Fuck Off, to I Can Beat Your Dad.
Mm-hmm.
What were the ideas going on during the writing of this album?
Actually, the record's called Full Blast Fuckery because of Viking Pussies Fuck Off. When we recorded the record, we made that song when we were out in Los Angeles finishing the record with Steve. We had no idea what we were going to do. We just knew that we wanted like a really short, what was essentially going to be opening to the record, like just a fucking intense banger. And then we wrote the song and in the hotel room. We're like, oh, this is ripping, And then we put it to tape it with Steve and played what we created. And I called one of our dudes on the team, and I'm like, dude, this song we just wrote, it's like Full Blast Fuckery, man. And he's like, wait, say that again? And it's like Full Blast Fuckery, and I'm like, did we just come up with our record title? And he's like, I think we might have just came up with a record title. And the whole idea with those songs is we didn't want to stray away from being Wilson, like the actual band name Wilson, even though people had reservations of it because it's so common of a last name, and what kind of image does that really conjure up when you're thinking about Wilson, and you say, people are like, is it the volleyball from, this, or the neighbor from Home Improvement, or Dennis the Menace, or all these shits, but we like the name. For us, it reminds us of like old-fashioned rock and roll for some reason. When it comes off the tongue, it just sounds strong and fun, and so we decided that to make a record and call these tunes I Can Beat Your Dad. Have you seen the movie Fear?
Uh-huh.
That's what the lyrics are kind of based around, the idea of this like really fucked up dude dating this chick and like being a terrible hooligan, to deal with, and like the idea of like the young, I was in shitty relationships when I was younger where I was psychotically obsessed with some chick because it was my first time, like the chick I lost my virginity to or whatever it may be. It was like, I fell in love, you're mine, I'm yours, that sort of thing. So, and we just decided to name them fun. They were actually working titles that kind of stuck around, especially those two, we were like writing songs, like, I Can Beat Your Dad, and then we just stayed with the name because it just felt so right for the song,
I guess, like, those themes seem to really be a part of Wilson, and it really does stick with the image of the band.
Yeah. I had to say that we were super conscious of what we were doing, because there's always the fun, exciting part of like not being conscious of what you're doing, just kind of letting it roll off the tongue as you go. But there's definitely like, I planned certain things, to make those things kind of make sense for a record titled Full Blast Fuckery, instead of using some other working title, maybe calling for Viking Pussies Fuck Off, Dogs on the Floor, or whatever it is, deciding to be like, no, we're going to actually use Viking Pussies Fuck Off. And then people being like, I don't think that's a good idea, and I'm like, I don't fucking care, because if we're going to call our record this and we're going to stand behind it and do the things that we like to do as a band, we're just a bunch of goofballs, It's just got to be fun in rock and roll, especially nowadays. It's too fucking sterile and serious. You turn on the radio and you just hear the same garbage, recycled words and whatever it may be. I don't listen to the radio that often, but it's fun to fuck around with those images and kind of push the envelope a little bit, because that's what rock and roll is supposed to be about.
And I guess the interesting thing with you guys is that it's such a fun party, almost jocular outlook, but at the same time there's so much work behind it.
Yeah, there's beauty in the breakdown of how that actually comes together. We're not as much as I would like to, I should probably be like, I should be drinking beer and fucking punching myself in the dick right now. And those are things that I do, you know, like
which you've done on camera.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
many times.
yeah, I'm not shy to those things, and that's the way that I live my life, you know, as like a dude, because I find, like I said, I find the beauty in those parts of living life that way. However, we're not just sticking a dildos up our asses and trying to make poo-poo caca jokes or whatever, and you know, like there's still for
There's
us
actually a job to be done.
Yeah. I mean, we take it seriously, you know, like just as much as we take our partying seriously, we take writing our music seriously, and you know, like we want it to be reflections of who we are as people and where we came from, most importantly. You know?
I've been trying to make this point with you for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
The word fuckery.
Yeah.
I find a lot of beauty in that world, in that word or world, both of them. And I've been saying to Chad for a while, you really need to trademark this word, this concept, this way of life.
Like if you look at the hashtag fuckery on some social site or whatever, there's all these people who would never be a Wilson fan that like have used the term. So I can't really like claim any sort of ownership to that whatsoever. It's just the idea of the debaucherous way in general and summing it up in a word that's rolls off the tongue a little bit better and whatnot. But I don't think I want to own the rights to any of that shit. I mean, that's the fun part about it, is that we all, like you said, you coming from wherever you grew up and whoever you are and whatever you're going to be doing with the rest of your life, and the same with me, you can find beauty in the idea of fuckery, and that's the fun part about it. I mean, it sounds cliche, but isn't that what music is about? Everybody's interpretation. So somebody's like, what does that mean? I mean, what does fuckery mean to you? I'm like, doing anything that feels good, you know? Especially if it's supposed to feel bad, you know? Right?
Right. I love you, buddy. I really do. Oh my God. We're in 2014, 2013.
Yeah.
Kind of a good year for you guys, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, we had a good time.
A lot of touring.
A lot of touring.
Any really crazy or fun or pleasant or crazy memories of horrible shit or whatever that happened in 2013?
You know, I don't know where to. There's so many incredibly intense memories from that last year. I mean, it's the first year that saw, like, we've toured in 2012, you know, but it was like mostly us doing like a lot of Midwest or, you know, smaller dates, shorter runs by ourselves or our friends' bands and stuff like that. You know, the typical starting a band, I want to take it seriously, we need to get on the road, let's go play whatever shithole we can play type sort of thing. 2013 saw like the more like, all right, we're going on tour with Guar, and we're going on tour with Jason fucking Newsted from Metallica, and we're going on tour with Scorpion Child and Cadaver, we're going on tour with Bam Margera, like these people that like, you know, have done things for a long, long time, and, you know, seeing how they work and applying those efforts to ourselves is like mind-fuckingly opening, you know. I guess the question you're asking me is, do I have any fun or crazy memories from that year? And I wish I could like pinpoint like 4 down. You know, I probably could if I thought hard enough about it. But the reality is like, I can't conjure up like an exact memory. I can remember the first time that like Brad from Guar, the drummer, was like, "Hey man, come with us to this fucking bar." And like, I can't believe that you're acknowledging that I'm even, you know, I'm on tour with you, but a lot of times the headlining bands never talk to the opening bands. They don't even know that they exist. They're just there because like some fucking way, shape or form they got. But these dudes chose us. Same with Newsted, same with Scorpion Child, same with Bam. It wasn't like we got put there because of our manager or our agent or we bought on or something like that. It was like, no, these fucking bands like asked us to go out and tour with them. So that was, you know, when Brad was like, "Hey man, you come with us to this bar. It's a secret like fucking bar that you have to have a password for and go into this weird like VFW style hall, shitty fucking bar. You know, they're just like grilling at a grill that they've been using for like 100 years and never cleaned, and like all these fucking crazy biker dudes everywhere, and you know, like people are just like cutting drugs up with knives in the open. It was fucking crazy, you know, like, and that was pretty much every night of the Guar tour. Was like some other crazy like place that they took us to because they've been doing it for like 25 years and they know all the like the cool spots in town. Yeah, I'd have to say any night hanging out with Brad and the Guar dudes or whatever was favorite night ever.
Would you say that the last year or so has really been an education about what this kind of being involved in the music industry is about?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a different air about our band, like how we like take on playing a show is a lot different after this year than after 2013 than ever before. Like, you know, it's go time. You know, you're not going up there to fuck around and drink beers and tell jokes into a microphone in between songs. Like, you're there to fucking entertain. These people left their house, you know, to come see a concert instead of staying at home jerking off to fucking Red Tube or playing World of Warcraft or some shit. You know, there's so many other reasons for them to stay home nowadays. The internet's fucking sucks because of that. I mean, venues will put cameras in their rooms so you can watch a live feed at home. Like, why would you want anybody to like stay at home and to watch a concert from home? So, you know, the ideas of being around these, you know, people like Jason Newsted, who was in Metallica, you know, like how they like treat a show and treat their body. You know, like, you guys are out there fucking drinking all the time. It's like, yeah, when we can. But I don't get drunk before a show anymore. Somebody will offer me a shot. I'm like, I don't drink before we play anymore. Just because I would like to perform for you, you know, and not just be a drunken mess or losing my voice or like trying to catch my breath or something on stage, you know. And that was something I would have never done. I'd be shithouse wasted in 2012, you know, trying to stand up straight thinking it's funny or something, you know. That sucks for anybody who actually came there to see you play, you know. It might be funny for a minute, and then you realize, like, this guy's a fucking dickbag, you know? So, yeah, I mean, we definitely take things a lot. I get there's more stride in our walks when we play a show.
This year you have Shiprock, you have Megafest on Friday,
Yeah.
and you also have Rock on the Range.
Yeah,
this year, too.
Yeah.
Playing these huge major events and festivals, what's really the how you're feeling before those shows? Is there a different level of do you ever try to do something interesting or different?
Oh yeah, I mean, especially like I think we talked about what we were planning on doing on Friday or whatever, and for the Megafest. I mean, they take those events like with seriousness. Like, okay, we're getting an incredible opportunity. Let's not blow this. Let's make sure that the people who are watching us that actually find us and come see us play in this huge event of other things. Let's make sure that they remember our band because we're getting the opportunity to play in front of, you know, these masses of people that would never normally see your band. So you don't want to go up there with like some sort of shit swagger, like you deserve to be there or some shit. You know, like they didn't buy a ticket to specifically see you when you're that small. When you're the smaller guys in the bill, you're lucky because the promoter or whoever's throwing the event, they like believed enough in you to like ask you to be a part of their event. You know, like Rock on the Range, we're not part of a tour package that's going down there. You know, we're just a band that they wanted to bring out onto the festival. So a lot of those festivals is like, well, you know, this is the guy, we're buying the package of this tour, you know, and these are the bands that are on it that come with it. And it's a good deal, but when you're a one-off band, there's got to be something that they see in you to make them want to ask you. I would suppose and guess, right? Why the fuck would you pay money for some band you don't give a shit about to come and play in front of a bunch of people that they would normally not have the privilege to do? So we take it seriously and make sure that we leave a mark on the stage and in the people's hearts that we played for.
Well, I guess that sort of leads me to an interesting question. What's it like for you guys personally to think about the overall just positive view of this band and how it's been received over the last just few years even?
It's pretty overwhelming. I think I kind of mentioned something like this before, like just being these dudes from where we're from or whatever, and the idea of how our band started. And you know, Jason, our guitar player, started the band when he went to school in Michigan State with his buddies. You know, like because they wanted to play in a band, a rock and roll band where they can get free beer while they're going to college and play some college shit, you know, dorm shows or whatever, you know, or house parties or whatever it may be, and then to see the shape that it's taken. From there, it's pretty crazy. The idea that people give a shit enough to come out and have you sit here and ask me questions or whatever when you probably could be doing a million other things. You probably could be checking off to RedTube.
I thought about that. I was like, interview Chad from Wilson
or just tell one out.
porn.
Yeah.
But you know what? The guys in porn don't have the facial hair that you do.
I can find some for you. If you want to,
It would take probably 2 minutes. I regret that statement instantly.
If you're in to M for M, I can find it for you, dude. Bear porn's my specialty, dude. Find bear porn any day of the week.
I want to make sure you did not make up bear porn.
Bear porn?
And what is bear porn actual?
Oh, if I was into dudes or whatever, and probably I'd have to be a little bit more bulkier. But a bear is like a hairy homosexual man, you know, dudes with beards, bigger guys. You know, it's like yeah, that's the terminology for what I've been taught in my years. But yeah, I could find you some bear porn for sure.
And this is another very important point. Who taught you these things that are so essential in life? Things like bear porn. Yeah.
Well, I'll give everything else.
Where did you become Chad Nicefield?
I'll give everything else to my dad except for bear porn, because bear porn is actually a terminology that I learned from. I used to live with a homosexual man for like 5 years, on and off. So I mean, I might have probably picked up on that in some way, shape, or form through living with my buddy. My dad, though, when I grew up. I was born and raised in Port Huron, Michigan, and left there when I was like 21 to go to Texas. But all the kids called my dad Dirty Dennis, and that Dirty D, that was like his thing, you know, because he was like, we used to go, like, when he'd pick us up to go take us skateboarding at the local park, he would sing these songs about, who dare you to sing low to the wobble to it, you know, like, he'd like do these hilarious like songs and gestures, and he's all about like having a good time, and he's a crude, lewd guy that, like, you know, doesn't give a fuck about the way that you view him, type sort of thing. He's just an interesting dude, you know, and I guess those sorts of things kind of rubbed off on me. That and the kids I grew up with, we're all little fucking weirdos. Played Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, and had like these enchanted thoughts all the time, and used to get, you know, sweet boners until we finally like figured out what vaginas were. You know? And there's those like those years of just fiddling yourself, listening to, watching your buddies play like Dungeons and Dragons and drinking Surge Pop. I think that's where it all came from. I'm not sure. So between Dirty Dennis,
it's all come together now. Everything. Like,
yeah.
I came into this room perplexed and wanting to understand more, and it all makes sense now. Well, it all just came together, and
I'm glad that
I feel fulfilled a little bit.
Really? That's nice.
Yeah, I really do, buddy. Thank you.
Literally.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we're all so happy inside right now. With that being said, now that we've got closure,
yeah.
Is there new material on the horizon for Wilson?
Dude, yes. I can't even be. I'm literally so excited. We've been writing. We're like way beyond halfway of having a new record. Our goal, being candid, is to like have and record 16 to 17 new songs and put 10 to 11 them on a record. And we're demoed out to about 8 of those songs right now. We get to go. We said no to a couple tours so we could stay home. And we're going to go shack up in a cabin for like 2 weeks with each other and just have like a complete writing sessions. And the idea for us is, because the rest of our year, we haven't been able to announce a lot of things, but the rest of our year is pretty much spoken for, you know, like from before Rock on the Range and on. So we're probably not going to have much time to like do it. So we're preparing now, and we've written a shit ton of stuff that we're really stoked on.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we've etched out the time to do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah, we decided that instead of going back on the road in March, that we're going to stay home and take the time and make the next record, the follow-up to Full Blast Fuckery, as fucking awesome as we can, you know?
A very important question right now.
Yeah.
How the fuck did all of this happen?
I don't know, man.
Just give me some story of what has happened you
I wish I...
is remotely possible.
We've always had, like, this fucking, you know, I'm not going to say let somebody tell me no. You know, like, I'm going to figure it out. And everybody that works with me, you know, that we work with in the band, our band members, management, agents, whatever is involved at this point in time, they know that I'm not going to let them tell me no, you know, that I'm going to figure out some fucking way to get yes out of them if I have to do it myself, type sort of thing. Well, you don't want that to happen? Well, I'll figure out a way to fucking make it happen because I think it's a good idea. I don't know if that has anything to do with it more than, like, anything else, but I feel like having all those like-minded people, there's not a Debbie Downer in our band. No one's gonna say no. No one's gonna stop what they're fucking doing. You know, we like everybody works shit jobs or whatever and just saves up to be in a fucking band. And we're not making money here. You know, like that time hasn't come. Nor do we even know if that time will come. But the idea is, we have a goal, and trying to hit that goal, the end game, is there's nothing that's gonna stop us. And maybe that's the only thing I could say of how it's happened, or what's happening, or why it's happening, and I don't know. I don't even wish I knew, you know, like, I'm just enjoying it, you know, like, and on top of that, like, hoping that while it's happening, the people that I get to be around are enjoying it as well, you know. I don't know if that sounds cheesy or pompous or whatever the fuck it is. It just...
Important life lessons from Chad. On to a different side of you, the softer side of Chad Nicefield.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about you personally.
Me personally?
Yeah, you. What's going on with you, buddy? How are you feeling?
I feel like, currently right now,
yeah.
I'm a little hungry. Not gonna lie, I didn't really have that much to eat today, so I'm just kind of thinking about food a little bit. I recently, I had a lot of blood in my stool, and I found out that I had fissures in my butthole. I don't know if you've ever been to a specific doctor where they put fingers in your butthole to figure it out. The most disturbing thing that I've ever had happen to me. Getting a little deep here, but you asked me how I was doing, so I guess figured out I have fissures in my butthole because when I sing I strain my lower region, so I'm working on trying not to strain my lower region, and there's no more blood in my stool anymore. Pretty fucking excited about that. Got a good diet going on now too. I've been drinking a lot of juice, trying to stay healthy, mentally healthy. Am I getting a little too fucking weird?
No. You are not. You cannot like scare me off the path.
All right. Yeah, I think that I'm doing well, man. Like I have a lot of things to be thankful for, and a lot of people in my life that are just solid human beings. And I don't think there's much more that anybody can ask for than having solid human beings in your life. It's hard to find them. It's hard to lock them down and keep them on your side. So, yeah, man, everything's really awesome.
Thank you for not only delivering a very important message, but doing so in such a distinguished way. I feel like I can trust you.
Yeah, you can trust me, man.
I feel like you're an honest...
Got any secrets? I love secrets, man. I'm the secret keeper, man.
Motherfucker.
They call me the trapper keeper in the band. It's like everybody tells me their secrets. I know everybody's secrets. I would never say anything. You're all getting laid, Mega Fest.
Wonderful. Buddy, thank you for taking the
welcome,
time.
Man. Thanks for having me.
Good seeing you, dude.
I appreciate the time, man.
No problem.
David McDonald.